Paper or plastic is a question everyone in America has been asked at least once in their lifetimes. Many people have debated over what's better, but economists have a simple answer: plastic. Plastic bags are much more resource efficient. Plastic bags require much less energy than paper bags to manufacture. Derek Jensen writes, "Marine trash kills more than 1 million seabirds and 100,000 mammals and turtles each year, as well as unimaginable numbers of fish. This plastic is not degrading, but merely breaking into smaller and smaller pieces, until by now it is routinely found inside the cells of phytoplankton." As more and more governments around the world are taking measures to improve sustainability and decrease their environmental impact, many people dream of a world without plastic bags. But in today's society, which often emphasizes convenience and disposability, is such a world even possible? Plastic bags first made their mark in 1957, when the first plastic sandwich baggies were invented. They grew in popularity and competed with paper bags in supermarkets, and by 1996, 80% of all grocery bags in the United States were plastic. Today, plastic bags are so common in grocery stores that we often take them for granted. They package our food and allow us to easily transport our groceries from the supermarkets to our cars to our homes. It is estimated that the world consumes between 500 billion to 1 trillion plastic bags every year. But with so many bags being used, what effects do they have on the environment? Derek Jensen devotes an entire chapter in his book, What We Leave Behind, to describing the environmental and health hazards of plastic. Because plastic is completely synthetic, no organism can break it down, and so plastic bags will accumulate in landfills without decomposing. PlasticBagEconomics.com states that plastic bags make up 80% of litter on roads, parks, and beaches, as well as 90% of ocean litter. Jensen writes that the middle of the Pacific Ocean contains 6 times more plastic than phytoplankton. Animals at every level of the food chain are at risk from plastic bags. Sea turtles often mistake them for jellyfish and suffocate when they eat them. Land and aquatic animals alike may suffocate from getting entangled in plastic bags, die of starvation due to plastic filling their stomachs, or die of constipation when the plastic blocks their intestines. When plastic bags break into tiny pieces, smaller animals can accidentally consume them. This plastic remains in the food chain and accumulates in higher concentrations in larger animals, including humans. Tiny pieces of plastic also absorb toxic chemicals that can kill the organisms that consume them. The chemicals used to make plastic bags are also hazardous to human health. Phthalates make plastic soft and pliable and are used in plastic bags, food packaging, and other household products, such as these rubber ducks. However, according to Jensen, they readily leach out of the plastic and end up in human blood, urine, saliva, seminal fluid, breast milk, and amniotic fluid, causing toxic effects to the reproductive system. In addition, a recent study from the University of Rochester Medical Center found that infant boys who were exposed to phthalates in utero are less likely to display typical male playtime behavior. In response to the environmental threats posed by plastic bags, many people believe that reusable shopping bags are the answer. A single high-quality reusable bag eliminates the use of thousands of paper and plastic bags over its lifetime. These bags are commonly made from either polypropylene, which is a recyclable plastic, or one of several natural fibers, such as jute, cotton, or hemp. Adopting reusable bags over a person's entire life can save over 20,000 plastic bags. In addition, reusable bags can carry twice as much weight, are typically easier to carry, and are washable. However, most reusable bags carry a hidden cost. Many of the most common reusable bags are cheaply made and may break after several uses, so they will inevitably end up in landfills. In addition, growing and transporting the materials to make the bags consumes valuable natural resources. Jute and hemp are often imported, which consumes fossil fuels, and growing cotton requires heavy irrigation. Also, the materials may contain harmful chemicals or pesticides unless they were grown organically. Finally, there is the issue of convenience. We are so used to receiving free plastic bags at the grocery store that purchasing and carrying reusable bags may seem inconvenient. In addition, larger households will obviously need to bring far more reusable bags if they want to eliminate their use of plastic bags. Is our culture of convenience ready for such a major change? Another alternative to regular plastic bags is using biodegradable bags. They have the same convenience of regular bags because they are disposable. As an example, let's look at BioBag, which boasts the top-selling brand of biodegradable bags in the country. BioBags are made from completely renewable resources and do not contain any genetically modified materials or polyethylene, which is the plastic used to make disposable bags. They have no chemical additives to speed up decomposition, and they allow heat and moisture to escape, which reduces bacteria and odor. Finally, the bags can decompose in multiple environments, including freshwater, saltwater, and landfills. On the other hand, biobags take between 8 to 14 months to decompose completely, so they can still build up in the environment before breaking down. In addition, biodegradable bags take a similar amount of energy and resources to produce as plastic bags, and do nothing to reduce consumption. In fact, reusablebags.com writes that consumption of biodegradable bags may increase because people see them as less harmful to the environment. Finally, the renewable resources used to make these bags are not as renewable as one might think. BioBag uses corn-based starch and soy-based ink to make the bags, but heavy demand already exists for these crops in agriculture and industry. According to Lester Brown, topsoil erosion began to exceed soil formation within the last century, so less and less land is available for agriculture even as the world population continues to expand. As a result, failing states such as Haiti and Mongolia have lost much of their topsoil and must import most of their grain to feed their people. In addition, demand for grain and corn has increased dramatically as the United States has become the dominant producer of crop-based fuel for cars. After gasoline prices rose to $3 a gallon following Hurricane Katrina, Lester Brown writes that the U.S. converted 1/4 of its 2009 grain harvest into ethanol due to heavy investments in corn-based ethanol distilleries. As the world population continues to increase and more people around the world are going hungry, can we really afford to divert even more of the U.S. corn harvest, which is already an important food staple, just to make biodegradable disposable bags? When it comes to plastic bags, just like any other product, the bottom line comes down to economics. Plastic bags equal jobs. 2 years ago, China closed this factory, which was the biggest producer of plastic bags in the country. The factory turned out 250,000 tons of plastic bags worth $305 million American dollars every year, and the company employed 20,000 people. In 2003, the South African government passed legislation requiring plastic bags to be at least 30 micrometers thick and mandating shops to sell the bags rather than give them away. Bag manufacturers lost 90% of their sales instead of the predicted 50%. Many companies had to switch to 3-day work weeks, and it was predicted that nearly 4,000 jobs would be lost. As we have seen, plastic bags are just one of many plastic products that has dramatically impacted our culture, for better or worse. But what about these other plastic products? What impacts do they have on our culture and environment? Can we imagine a world without those as well?